Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just going to do a Valentine's Day type of look. I'm just gonna start off with the eyes. I already used my MAC Painterly paint pot. This is just an eyeshadow primer and it's already settled in, so it's dry. I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in. I already put some tape down, that way I can go ahead and get this video started. So first off, we are going to grab my Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I'm going to go ahead and go in with this shade right here. It is called Golden Ochre. I believe that's how you say it. And I'm going to grab that on my Wet n Wild fluffy shader brush. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the shade, I believe that is this shade right here, which I believe is Bouillon Fresco, I think. And I'm going to use that same brush, tap off the excess, and go ahead and start putting that in the crease as well. I'm going to actually go into my Morphe palette with Jaclyn Hill. So I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Hunts. It's kind of like a reddish, more orangey shade. And I'm going to take that on my Morphe M441 blending brush. It just looks like that. And I'm going to actually be a little bit more detailed with that shade right there. Okay, so with that same brush, I'm actually going to go back into the Anastasia palette, and I'm going to take this color right here, which is called Love Letter, and then I'm going to mix it with this one, which is called Vienna Red. So I'm going to take those on the same brush and just get a little bit of each because I want something more pink rather than orange. So I'm going to just put this more on the outer edge, halfway through, and then I'm going to start blending that on top of that reddish color. So I'm going to go ahead and tap off the excess, add more, I guess, towards the inner middle outwards. So just again with the windshield wiper motions. And just make sure you get close to the tape. Okay. That looks pretty good right there. I'm going to go ahead and go back into this Morphe palette by Jaclyn Hill, and I am going to use this shade. It is called Little Lady. It is this one right here. I'm going to actually mix this one and this next one. It's called Sissy together. I'm going to go ahead and grab my MAC Fix Plus spray. This looks like that. And I'm going to grab it with this brush right here. This is a Royal and Langnickel small detail brush. It just looks like that. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my brush. Just get it wet, that way the color intensity could be a lot more. Okay, so I'm just mixing those two colors. go back in with the Morphe brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab those same colors out of the Modern Renaissance palette, the Love Letter and Vienna Red. So just this one and this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna put more on the outer corner and blend in the crease so there's no harsh lines. Just to even it out a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to this side. And keep on blending. All right. So lastly, I'm going to go back in with my Wet n Wild brush and go back in with that first color that we use, which is called Golden Ochre, which is this one. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go on top and just kind of blend it out so there's no harsh lines underneath the eyebrow. Okay, so I went ahead and stepped off camera. I ended up adding this Urban Decay single eyeshadow in the shade Solstice. It just looks like this. It's kind of like a duochrome glitter. If you can tell, it just gives it a little bit of a sparkle. I already did my eyebrows off camera as well. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and finish my face. There we go. Put the camera a little bit down. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish the application of my face. I already washed and moisturized. I just have not primed yet. So we'll go ahead and do that real fast. I'm going to take my Pores No More Luminizer Primer by Dr. Brant. Just looks like this. It's a pore filling primer. I'm going to go ahead and put some on each section of my face. I'm going to go ahead and be trying out the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation, the 24-hour one, their new one today as well. I hope this is my shade. I didn't really think about it, but it is shade 220 Natural Beige. Just looks like this. It comes with the pump. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my face. Looks like it might be a tiny bit dark. Ah, this is too dark. We'll see. Probably just use the super bright concealer to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my beauty blender and my Evian spray, and I'm just going to spray my beauty blender just to give it some moisture, and I'm going to go ahead and start blending that out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my, I'm going to go ahead and take my MAC, what is this, Prolong Wear Concealer, and this is in the shade NC20. I like this shade because it is about 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. I usually just use one pump because it spreads pretty good. But anyways, it's lighter than my skin tone, as you can see. So it really brightens under my eyes and where I want to highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. So I'm just taking the back of my sponge so I can blend out the concealer so there's no harsh lines. I want to look bright, but I don't want it to be obvious. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my Peach Perfect setting spray by Too Faced, and I'm going to bake under my eyes and pretty much in my T-zone because I do get oily in those areas. And I'm just going to put that on with my Beauty Blender as well. And just look up so you are pushing the powder in your lines so you don't get any creasing. So I'm going to let that sit for a while, and I'm actually going to go back in and try to fix up my eyebrows. I have some powder on them. So I'm not getting any extra product, I'm just using what's left on my brush. Okay, so I'm still going to let that set, but I'm going to set the rest of my face with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in light medium. I just tap some of that into the lid, and I like to set it with my, let's see, this is the It Cosmetics, it's just a flat shader brush. It looks like that. It's really soft. Okay, so I just press it into my face. And I'm still gonna let that set for a while. But I'm going to kind of brush off along my cheeks so I can go ahead and start bronzing. Okay, so for bronzer, I'm just going to take this angled brush. It doesn't have a name on it. I've just had it forever. But this has actually been my favorite bronzer, and I've been touching this more than my Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer, which is crazy because that one's $50 and this one's like $12. So this is a Loreal True Match Lumi bronzer, and this one is in the shade 02 Medium. It just looks like this. It does have some shimmer in it, but I don't think you can really tell on camera. And you can't really see it on the face either. So I'm just going to give my face a little bit of color. And I just swipe right here. I don't like to look too bronze because I'm already brown. So, but I like to give my face some color. Just adding some more color. Just sweep it on the face. And then I always take it underneath my chin. And just go down. Okay, and I take a little bit along the sides of my nose. Just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my Hoola bronzer by Benefit, just this little guy right here, and I've actually been using the little brush that comes with it to contour. So I like to put it a little bit darker towards my hairline, if you can tell. That way it looks a little bit like I don't have a round face and like I actually have cheekbones. And I take some of that under my chin as well, and I just sweep it. I don't take a lot. I know I'm wearing a lot of makeup, but I like to look natural, like I'm not wearing as much makeup. I'll just take a little bit alongside my nose. And a little bit under my lip. That just makes me look like I have bigger lips. Not like I really need it, but you know. So I'm just patting it in and taking away some of the color so it doesn't look as harsh. And actually, before I sweep that off, I'm going to go back in with my Modern Renaissance palette, this guy right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take those same two colors, the Love Letter and what is the other one? Vienna Red. So this one and this one, and I'm going to take that on, let's see, I'm just going to take that on my Morphe M441 brush, the same brush that we used in the crease, and I'm going to go ahead and look up and just line my eyes a little bit. Now I'm going to take my same It Cosmetics brush and wipe off all that setting powder and fallout. Okay, so that is good. So now all I really have to do is just put on some blush and some highlighter and some bottom mascara. I don't like a lot of product on the bottom of my eyes. I keep looking over here because I have my mirror. Okay, so now I'm going to take my blush from Pure. I got this actually in my BoxyCharm. It just looks like this, and it has 3 in here. There's the blush, which is Blushing Glow, which is this one. And then there's Afterglow, a highlighter, and a bronzer called Mineral Glow. I've used the bronzer a little bit more so for eyeshadow, but I'm mainly going to use this blush. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on my Real Techniques blush brush. It's just a big fluffy brush. So I'm just going to pat that on there like this, tap off, and I'm going to press that into my cheeks. I don't want to swipe because I'm just going to swipe off other product. So now I'm going to go back in with my Evian spray, and I'm just going to go ahead and set my makeup. Okay, and then I'm going to try not to look down too hard. So I'm just going to fan that and let that dry. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to go back into this palette, and I'm going to take this highlighting shade in the shade Afterglow. And I'm just going to take this flat shader brush right here that I have, and it is from Bodyography Pro. I don't know why I always have a hard time saying that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my inner corners. Look at how bright that is. I love this palette. And I'm just going to put a little bit under my eyebrows for a little glow. Okay. So the rest of my face is still drying a little bit. Alright, that should be good. And lastly, I'm going to take my Morphe. This is the M501 brush, It just looks like this. It's a pretty big fluffy brush, but I like to use it for my highlighter. And I'm going to go into that same highlighter. Look at that. This is so freaking pigmented. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and clean off my lips and get whatever foundation I have on there off. And then I'm going to take my Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy lipstick. And this is the shade 130 Intense Nude. So let's see. Autofocus. Just looks like this. It's from Estee Lauder. Like that. Focus. Okay. And I've been putting this on just the center of my lips. So I just am getting my fingers. I don't like such intense lipsticks. I like more natural looking, like I just have pretty colorful lips. And that is the final look. I just have to go and comb my hair and get everything together. But that is everything. So I'm just going to zoom you in now again and show you the lips and the eye look. Just looks like that. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Have a good day. Bye.